What's happening, everyone? Nicky Hawkins, West Ham Fan TV. Back once getting post-match pint. Fucking hell, fuck that right up. Live after the Newcastle game yesterday. Sorry, we've had to do it today. A lot of us weren't available yesterday evening. How are you, boys? All right?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Not bad. You?
Yeah, I'm tired, but I'm good, mate. I'm good. I'm sore. Scott, take us through the starting lineup.
Right. Fabianski in goal, Fredericks right back, Bonner Diop centre half, Creswell left back. Midfield partnership of Rice, Souček, Fornals, Lanzini. Oh, here we go. Fornals, Lanzini, Owen as the attacking three with Antonio up top on his own.
He nearly mucked it up.
Nearly.
24 hours since game and he forgot the starting lineup.
Well, I wasn't expecting a draw, to be honest. If you'd have offered me that a week ago, I'd have bit your hand off.
Well, I mean, when we predicted Friday, I think we was hoping for a draw.
I did predict 2-2, didn't I? On Friday night.
Bang on the money.
But yeah, I mean, look, if we'd have said this time last week, you're going to get 4 points against Chelsea and Newcastle, I think everyone would have took it. So it's disappointing that we threw away the lead twice yesterday. But look, a point at Newcastle was good, especially with the form they've been in lately and the attacking threat they've got. I thought we dealt well with their attacking threat.
Yeah, when I was looking at the game yesterday, we've always had a tough old time up at Newcastle. We've, like, over my lifetime, it only seems we've run up there like a handful of times. So when we had the Chelsea game, we got the points there. I was thinking, do you know what? You know, it's a long old way to travel. It wouldn't be too bad if we lost this game, especially the way the results have gone already. And we got a point, which, look, I've got to turn around and say is any point away from home in the Premier League is a fantastic point. But I'm a little bit disappointed the way we did surrender, especially after we went 2-1 up, the way we surrendered the second goal. It was like,
switched off.
I know it was Fornals playing him onside and all of that, but the defenders have got to, you know, instead of standing there with your hands up, fucking get in.
Yeah, I mean,
the way you wing it to be your last man, do you?
Yeah, I mean, the way we started the game, I mean, we started it off like a team that was confident in the top half of the table, knocking it about, and Bowen gets another assist, and Antonio gets himself another goal. Do you know what? I see a stat earlier that's his 30th Premier League goal for West Ham, and every single one of them have been inside the box. Antonio. Now we know when he shoots from outside the box, we know why. But yes, I mean, our important players are starting to hit a good run of form at the right time of the season. And for me, Bowen again yesterday, another great performance from him, and as I said, another assist, and he's becoming a real key player. And someone like Thomas Souček as well. I've been really impressed with him since he's joined the club, and yesterday he proved to me that he can be our box-to-box midfielder that we've been lacking since we lost COYI.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I thought he was man of the match against Chelsea. I know Antonio got it, but I thought he was man of the match against Chelsea. I thought Bowen might have edged it yesterday, and it just shows you how big them two signings have been since we got it. I mean, let's be honest, Souček scored 2 goals against Chelsea. Then he's got another one. But apart from his ability on the ball, he's got more or less everything. He's good in the air. He's commanding in midfield. He wins the ball nicely. You know, he is box to box. He can obviously score goals. He's dangerous at set pieces. His passing needs to be a little bit better, but that might come. But bloody hell, like, what a player we found there.
I see a lot of people sort of comparing him, saying he's David Moyes' Fellaini. I think he offers a bit more than Fellaini, to be fair. Thomas Souček.
Yeah, I agree, mate.
He could become like Vieira was for Arsenal. Do you think he could become that sort of player for us?
If he becomes half the player Vieira was for Arsenal, Gray, I'll be happy.
Yeah, exactly. The thing was,
do you think he could become that important for us?
Oh yeah, massive. Yeah, definitely.
When we
go on, mate.
No, when we signed him, it was a case of he's another version of Fellaini, but he's a bit more defensive minded, and he's more of a box to box player than Fellaini was for Moyes. But that's what Moyes brought him in as, someone who he knew he could give a bit more of an all round game in the midfield, which is what we've lacked for a long time.
He's only 25 as well.
Yeah, exactly. He's by all accounts he's a model professional. In training early, leaving one of the last to leave. And I think that's showing with his performances on the pitch. It's where Rice has been the captain, obviously when Noble's out the side. I think having Souček alongside him, you've got two captains in there. He
frees Declan Rice up as well, didn't he? To Declan Rice to express himself and go forward a bit more. And that's something that when Noble's in the team, Declan Rice don't seem to do that as much because he has to cover for Mark Noble. With Souček, he's actually got legs because, as we said, he's box to box.
Mm-hmm. The problem is, I think in football, the problem is there's two positions you can't really afford to have passengers, and that's in midfield and at the fullbacks, because if you have passengers in them two positions, you're going to get killed all day long. You lose the midfield battle, you lose the game most times. And the same if your fullbacks ain't playing well, the amount of crosses and stuff that come in is it's amazing. And you look at the stats for this season, last season, season before that, to see how many goals come from them. I bet it's tons. Mm-hmm. And tons. I haven't done the research, but I can tell you from memory the amount of goals we've conceded. Just getting done on the wings, and it seems to me like it's been a position. There are two positions that we've neglected for so long. Amount of wingers we've bought over the years. Like over the last few years, is amazing. Like you got to think at the club now. We've got Anderson, Fornals can play there, Lanzini can play there, Antonio, Bowen, Yarmolenko, all wingers. Diangana, who we sent out on loan. How many midfielders we got? 2, 3, 3 now.
Yeah, you're right. That is one position we have sort of lacked in the last few years because we seem to, and maybe that's why sometimes the pressure is on Noble a bit, and we rely too much on him sometimes. But with Souček now coming into the squad, it gives David Moyes the chance to sort of rest Noble a bit more.
I just think, the thing is about the players, right? I don't think we've actually sort of addressed the problem. Like Wilshere, fantastic player in his day. He's never going to be the answer to the midfield because he spends too much time on the sidelines. We all knew he was going to do that. Before we got Souček in, we had fucking Carlos Sanchez, and Mark Noble and Declan Rice. Declan Rice, as you say, like Noble himself, you can't rely on Noble. We had a little spell before we signed Souček where Noble was outside and we were fucking awful. We was getting battered up left, right and centre.
I remember the days when we had to even play Zabaleta in centre midfield.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. We've neglected that position for so long. I can't see with such important positions why we neglect it for so long. You know what I mean? And then with
so many square pegs, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so sometimes. I think so. And then the fullback position, like I've got to say, the first goal comes from Cresswell. And I don't know how many times I've said that this season. The first goal comes from Cresswell. Once again, not closing the fucking cross down.
It's Cresswell and was it Fornals or was it Lanzini? Lanzini, wasn't it?
When you watch that back, right? If you watch that goal back, Lanzini tells Cresswell to go wide. Lanzini's got the player who's on the ball. He tells Cresswell to go wide. Because I think it's St. Maximin who's on the ball, Cresswell decides to stay inside, which then allows the ball to drift out to the right. Right? If Cresswell goes to the right, cut that out. Right? Because if I'm sure it was St. Maximin's on the ball, if he's running at Lanzini and gets past him, he runs into the centre half. If Cresswell cuts out the wide player, that stops the cross.
That's definitely something we've got to address in the summer is the fullback positions, both right and left back. Because for me, Fredericks once again yesterday. The thing is with Fredericks, he really frustrates me because he can be. He's got the pace to be a good right back, but it's just his positioning sometimes, and he seems to be like sometimes 5 seconds behind everyone else in decision making.
Yeah,
and on the other side, you've got Cresswell, pretty similar, and Cresswell's been a good servant to West Ham, but I think he just needs a little bit of competition at left back now.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. The lack of it. We know that Masuaku can't defend for anything. He's got Johnson, who's waiting in the wings, but obviously with that injury for Johnson that he's had, it's going to take him a while to get back. And I thought Frederick didn't have a bad game yesterday. If I'm honest,
it was one of his better games, but he still made a few mistakes. And
it's another signing we picked up on a free transfer. You think about our fullbacks. Think about them logically. How much money have we spent on fullbacks in the last 10 years?
Not a lot.
Nothing. Barely anything. Paid £3 million for Cresswell. When Cresswell got injured and we was desperate, we went and paid £5 million for Masuaku, which are our two currents. But you think about Guy Demel was free. Yep. The right back before that, it was the right back. Zabaleta was free. Yep. We don't. Byron was about. No, actually, I think Byron was about £6 million. But he never played.
Cole Jenkinson was alone.
Yep, Cole Jenkinson was alone, but we don't spend any money on fullbacks. And as I said before, it's such an integral part of the game these days to have an all round. You look at Liverpool. Their biggest chances created is by Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Yeah, and Robinson down the left. Yeah, and that's a team with Salah, Mane, Firmino, fucking what's his name, Fernandinho. All in the middle.
That's Flaminio, isn't it? Not Fernandinho.
They've got Fernandinho something in the middle. I'm sure of it, Fernandinho or something. But Fabinho. That's his name. Is it? I don't know.
Yeah,
Fabinho. Right, but their chances come from their lefts and right backs. So you look at the successful teams in the league these days. All their chances are coming from the left and right backs. And not only that, they can defend.
Yeah. The problem is that, Creswell, he don't have a lot of support defensively on that side. When we play Lanzini or Anderson, they're not defensive minded. When you look at Bowen is what you would class as a proper winger. He gets forward, he gets the crosses in, gets the ball to the box, tries to get to the byline, but he also defends and he backs up his fullback. And Frederick should be more confident going forward, knowing that Bowen's there.
And the thing is with Bowen as well is that he works for the team, doesn't he?
Exactly.
He gives everything. When he's on that pitch, he don't stop running. If he makes a mistake, he tries to get back and win the ball back. But the one problem I found yesterday that we give John Joe Shelvey too much room to dictate the midfield.
Yeah. And we done that last year, didn't we?
Yeah, we seem to do that all the time. We done it at the London Stadium earlier in the season as well when we lost 3-2. And the thing is with John Joe Shelvey, you give him enough room, he's going to ping a ball 40, 50 yards and usually he finds his man.
And that's what he did. You look back at the game, there was many a time where he had so much space to pick his pass. And I'm sitting there screaming at the telly saying, I don't get why they're giving him so much room, so much space. That's the thing. And he always seems to turn up against us as well.
Because the thing is, Scott, he is a good player. And, and he has got that in his locker, to do that. So the one thing yesterday as well is, the substitution of Mark Noble. Yeah. Now, for me, that was the wrong substitution because the amount of space, people and time on the ball, people getting that pitch would have been perfect to come on yesterday because that Wilshere gets that ball, he'll have time to get his head up and pick a pass out.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was a wrong. We praised Moyes the other night for his substitutions against Chelsea, but yesterday I think he just got that one wrong. I know when Noble come on, it was 1-1, we went 2-1 up, but I just think Noble sort of, I wouldn't say slowed the game down, but sometimes there were some times where I thought he's just come on and he looked like he was under hitting the ball to players.
Yeah, and it took Noble too long to get into the game. That's the problem. He had a short period of time to try and get into the game, and when you've got a player like Shelvey who thrives on having space, putting someone in the centre of midfield who takes a little while to get on the game, to get into the game, is a big problem because Shelvey then just exploits the more space that he got. And for me, yesterday, we didn't get Lanzini and Fornals on the ball enough. You see in the first half, when they did get the ball, they caused Newcastle problems.
That ball, Cornell's for Bowen was fucking that was brilliant ball.
That's what I mean. And we didn't do that enough. You look at Newcastle. Newcastle, whenever they could give Shelby the ball, they give him the ball because they know he can do something with it. We saw in that opening 15 minutes that if we give Lanzini the ball, give Fornals the ball, something can happen. But we didn't stop doing it. Once we scored the goal, we didn't stop giving them the ball.
I think one thing we did do well yesterday, Joe Linton up front, we made him play outside the box.
Yeah.
We didn't let him have space in the box, and I thought we dealt quite well. I thought we dealt quite well with their players, all that, like Almiron. I know he scored the goal, but we dealt with him okay. Saint Maximin as well. We dealt with him. Declan Rice when he took it past him and Declan Rice won the ball back. He was frustrated yesterday, and players like that when they get frustrated, their game goes out the window. And that's what you want to do. And I think they took him off after about, 70 odd minutes, wasn't it? Something like that.
That's it. Towards the end of the first half, wasn't it? With the Fredericks tackle, where we took the ball and then took the player. That's a perfect tackle. Players like that you need to rough up a little. And I thought we've done that quite well yesterday. But I must admit, with the first goal that we scored, I like to see the fact that we actually got to the byline and put a crossing.
It was a great finish as well. It was, I mean, touch of luck that it went through the defender's leg, but look, so what? We need a bit of luck once in a while. And it was a great finish from Antonio.
Yeah,
and then basically flashed at that, and he's cued it, but he showed a great bit of composure in front of the goal.
Exactly, mate. Which, to be fair, that's good. That's what we want to see. We want to see that composure, and that's confidence. He scored the goal. He scored a goal against Chelsea, didn't he? And obviously that's bred confidence in him. Same with Bowen. Bowen's confident now. When you look at the stats of Bowen from when he was playing with Hull, I'm sure he's been involved in 9 on 30 odd goals so far this season. And that goes to show the type of player that he is and the threat that he can bring. It's just to say what we need is another Bowen to play on the other side.
Yeah.
But
the thing is, like, this season has been an absolute fucking disaster. To be honest with you, if I was a betting man and I had to put my money down, I'm going to lay it down on us staying up now because I think we've done well enough in the last 2 games. The next 2 games are really important. Really important.
Burnley and Norwich up next, so we take 6 points from them. That's us as a Premier League team.
We could secure ourselves a Premier League team. So it looks like we're going to scrape it. But honestly, how we are coming out of this, like scraping fucking relegations and all that in the last 4 games, being stuck in relegation battles for I think 3 of the 4 years we've been at the London Stadium, we've been in a proper relegation battle. When the other one was touch and go, it was only like we stayed up with about 6-7 games to go after a good, a good end to the season. It's just. Something drastically needs to change at West Ham. Something needs to change. We've got some good players now. You see Graham Souness the other day saying like, how many teams that have got a better squad on paper outside of West Ham. And when you look at us on paper, it is true. We have got a good squad on paper. The problem is it's just so unbalanced. It's so unbalanced. It's the club's fucking at 6s and 7s all the time with, it's not just the stuff we spoke about the other day, but fans as well. There's always like something going on with fans, and they're always trying to fuck someone over somewhere and all of that sort of thing. The team needs balance. I think Souček's brought a balance to the midfield. We need another midfielder like him. Don't go out and buy another Carlos Sanchez. Don't go out and buy another, Pablo Zabaleta, because I don't mean to be rude. Pablo was a perfect professional, but by the end of their contracts, they're wasting some money. You're chucking 80, 90, 100 grand a week down the drain because they're being paid so much. Well,
I think David Moyes has already said that he wants to look at younger, sort of, even if he has to dip down into the Championship. And there's a lot of talent in that Championship.
Well,
good players,
this is the thing, though. Why I see the Moose today on, over Twitter saying about how Declan Rice is too good for us, and we could get 80, 100 million for him, but it needs to be added to David Moyes to strengthen the team and all that sort of thing. We don't want Declan Rice to leave. We know Declan Rice has got a big future. But he's 21 years old. We don't want him to leave. But I agree with what the sentiment of what he said is. you know, he's too. I wouldn't say he's too good for us because he's still learning his trade. You know what I mean? He's still got mistakes in him. He still makes mistakes every now and then. He's a superb player, but I don't think at 21-year-old you can turn around and say he's good, too good for West Ham. But before Declan Rice walks out the door, before they said a player that's committed to the club, that loves the fans, that has a bond with the fans, ship out a couple of these people like Anderson that we've bought and not performed, because I don't want to see our loyal players go, and the ones. Sorry, Chloe's just fucking me off in the corner there. I don't want to see all
that plane was coming in your garden,
or the ones that are fully committed to the club. I want to see the likes of Anderson leave, because it just shows you what sort of attitude Anderson's got. I just don't think Anderson's a good player. He's a brilliant player on his day. He can be one of our best players, but he just isn't cut out for the He just isn't cut out for the Premier League. He just isn't cut out for it. He's just, you ask Lazio fans over the last few years who they're their most inconsistent player. It was him. It was Anderson. People said that time and time again when they was, when we was close to signing him. Haller, I think, can be a good player, but we need to get someone up there with him. Get rid of some of these players. Like, we've got rid of a lot of the wage bill, with Zabba and last year we saved so much money on wages. It's ridiculous. Mm-hmm. But there are players, especially for Brentford, like Ollie Watkins, that we can sign that could be a good partner for Haller. We've got a ready-made replacement in that. Like, let's be honest, if this season, look at it retrospectively, who would you rather have loaned out to QPR, Anderson or Diangana?
West Brom, you mean?
West Brom.
Sorry, West Brom.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but the thing is with Diangana, he's having a great season at West Brom, and I'm excited for him to come back next season because I watched him yesterday and he was unbelievable. But you're not going to loan out a £45 million player and keep a player like Diangana.
What on paper, right? On form this year, and I know, hindsight's a wonderful thing and all of that.
Yeah, but then what would have happened if we'd have kept Diangana, loaned Anderson to West Brom, and he'd have scored 30 goals down and had a great season? We'd have been sitting here now saying we should have kept Anderson.
I'm just saying, I know who I'd rather in my team.
Yeah, but
I know I'd rather in my team.
Yeah.
Diangana will give you as much as Anderson's give you this season. Simple as that.
Yeah. It's confidence, and the way we're playing, the way we've played this season. If we had Diangana, the way the team has played this season, Diangana wouldn't have benefited from staying with us. Diangana's benefited more from going to West Brom, getting game time, getting confidence, and playing in the side that's playing well than he would have done playing for us. Because if he had played for us and we had played the season as we've been playing and been really poor, the pressure would have mounted and you wouldn't see the Diangana you're seeing now at West Brom.
Diangana could be good for Anderson next season because he'd give him a kick up the arse knowing that he's there to take his place. Because from what I'm seeing at Diangana, it wouldn't surprise me if someone comes in for him in the summer with a like a 15, 20 million pound bid. And now in West Ham, they'll probably take it. But I mean, just
mad to take it. They'd be mad to take it.
Just quickly, I mean, before we go into what I was going to say is that with the run, obviously, with what we've got this week, I'd love to see West Ham try to have a little target in their mind to end this season unbeaten. These last 5 games, just go unbeaten, just to end the season on a bit of a high. Because as Nicky said, it's been a shit season. We can all agree on that. But if we can sort of, Man United, I mean, they're all tricky games, but they're games that are winnable. Man United is probably the only one that you probably look at and think we're not going to get nothing now. But on our day, we probably could get something now. So it'd be nice to first guarantee survival, then try to end the season unbeaten, and then in the summer we just get rid of the shit. If we have to change manager, let them do it. If they want to stick with Moyes, back him. And then as Nicky was saying, we've got to go out, we've got to strengthen in key positions, and bringing players like Diangana back will only be good for West Ham.
Yeah, great.
You should have 4 wingers next year. We've got so many wingers. I would sell Anderson. I would sell a Yeti because the Yeti's obviously not good enough, because if he was good enough he would be getting in the side over over Antonio up front. He's obviously not good enough. Get rid of him or loan him out, whatever you want to do with him. Just get rid of him. So it's Anderson, him. I would look on shotting on Lanzini because I don't think you'll ever, looking at Lanzini the way he's played in the last few games and the last season, I think them injuries have just done him, what he was about, that little turn of pace, that little bit of trickery. He seems to be struggling with that sort of thing now. Maybe he's getting a bit stale. He's been here for a long time or whatever, but I would get rid of him and get the money. Don't even entertain selling Declan Rice, but I would get the money, get a decent strike partner for Haller. Our four wingers next year should be Yarmolenko, Antonio, Bowen, and Diangana. That's the four wingers we should have. We need another midfielder, just like to run the boys for their money in the middle. No one that I would say was a starter because I think we've got two good ones. I think I'd keep on Wilshere, if I'm honest, because he's got another year in his contract. No one's going to take him, so you might as well keep him. A left back to replace Cresswell, maybe Bedding Johnson at right back, and then the four centre halves we've got.
The thing is, if rumours are true that Mark Noble is going to be Mark Noble's last season next year before he retires, that's a good thing for Declan Rice to look forward to. That could be a club sort of bargaining tool to keeping him there, to say, look, Mark's retiring next season, you're going to take over as captain. And even if they should give Declan Rice team captain next year and just leave Mark Noble as club captain, that's something. Go on.
Listen, Deck will not leave if we stay up. He'll give us another season. He'll give us one more season. But the problem is with him is that a boy of his age and his qualities don't want to be playing in fucking relegation battles year in, year out. Don't want to be covering three men's work.
But I guarantee Declan Rice would rather be playing in relegation battles than sitting on the bench of a Man City.
Yeah, that's the thing. At 21 years old, you want to be playing football. We said this before. You're a youngster. Yeah, he's got the world at his feet. That move could come in 3 or 4 years time.
If we look how much he's grown since he's become a regular as a player.
Yeah,
he wouldn't have got that chance elsewhere.
We was at his debut, Nick, against Burnley when Bilic brought him on.
Yeah.
Where he is now. West Ham have given him the opportunity in football, and we've turned him into an England international, over 100 appearances for West Ham already. He's 21, as Scott said. He could stay here for another 3 or 4 years at West Ham and then move, and he's only 25 in the prime.
Why would you?
Because maybe he might want to. Maybe there is a thing. I know a lot of people think about money, but he might want to show a little bit of loyalty to West Ham, even if it's for 2 or 3 years. If the club want to sell him, that's down to the club. Declan Rice will turn around and say, "I want to go."
Ambition trumps loyalty every time. And if you look at the players through history that chose loyalty over ambition, they've been fucked in their career. Look at Steven Gerrard. Never won the Premier League. That was his dream, to win the Premier League. Look at Alan Shearer.
But he won the FA Cups. He won Champions League.
Yeah, but
he'd be forever be a legend at Liverpool. So sometimes that's more important to some people.
He could have won.
Look at players in our past like Trevor Brooking, Billy Bonds, Bobby Moore. Billy Bonds, Trevor Brooking stayed with us when we was in the second division.
Yeah. Look at Alan Shearer. Alan Shearer is full of regrets. I don't give a fuck what he says. He's full of regrets. Could have gone to Man United and won everything. At the end of the day,
he won the Premier League with Blackburn, and it was his dream to win something with Newcastle. He lost 2 FA Cup finals. He's their record goal scorer, and he's a legend now. And it's his boyhood club.
Ambition will always trump. Well, West Ham isn't his boyhood club. Chelsea's his boyhood club.
Yeah, but the problem is, right, is that you say that and you look at them players. Look on the flip side. Look at players who left the club when they were playing really well at a young age. Look at Jack Rodwell. Look at Scott Sinclair. Where are they now?
They weren't in his class, mate.
I'm not saying they are, but where are they now?
They weren't nowhere near him.
Yeah, but this is the thing. What do you want to do in your career? As we said, Rice could sit. If we go down, Rice is gone. No matter. That's going to happen. We stay up. Rice will play week in, week out. Every single game that West Ham play that he's fit for, he will play. Right? I understand going to a big club, the big payday, the prestige of playing in the Champions League, stuff like that. But he will play week in, week out for the next 2-3 seasons for West Ham, and then go on to play for the likes of Manchester City, the Liverpools, the Man United, whoever it is like that, and go and be something great. But now, for him, for his progression, it's not like West Ham have stopped him progressing as a player. West Ham have brought him forward as a player. West Ham have made him tougher because of the dogfight that we're in. You know, he's a better player because he's at this club now, and I think he should stick with
Joe Cole, right, was one of the greatest talents this country's seen since Paul Gascoigne.
Yep.
Everything about his game was Paul Gascoigne-esque. They reckon he might have even been better in his teen years than Paul Gascoigne. Yep. The reason that Joe Cole's career, right, didn't develop as well as it could have is because he spent too many years down the bottom of West Ham fucking battling dogfights.
No.
Totally. Hang on. He only had one dogfight at West Ham and we were relegated.
Mourinho completely made him change his game.
No.
Hang on.
Redknapp changed the way he played. Redknapp Roda. Sorry, it was Roda. Roda changed the way he played. He fucking took all of that. He took all of that fucking creativity out of him. Yes, he did, Scott. He took all of that creativity out of him because he was down the bottom, fucking scrapping for his fucking life with West Ham. Yes, he did.
Listen, what ruined Joe Cole is the fact that he went to Chelsea and then Mourinho took charge.
No.
But you just said that he spent all his career battling relegation West Ham. It was 1 year, and the year after we sold him when we got relegated. And that season he was captain and he was playing the best football of his career.
He wasn't playing the best football of his career.
It was when he went to Mourinho coached all that out of him. Mate, he took away from him.
I think Nicky's trying to be like the Moose tonight. He wants to do Declan Rice.
I'm not.
Joe Cole is a prime example of how, all right, he went on to win things for Chelsea, right? And I get that. And to be fair, at the time when he was sold, it was a case of if he hadn't have gone, and like with Glenn Johnson, if they hadn't have gone to Chelsea then when they went for the money that we got for them, we would have been in massive trouble. Right? Us selling them two players practically kept the club alive. But Cole going to Chelsea at the age he went to Chelsea ruined Cole. Even though he got trophy in the name,
he was 20 years old with us.
Yeah.
Right? He was 20-year-old with us, and he was stuck in the middle of midfield. And he was meant to be this creative flair player. And all he done, if you watch it back. Nick probably in this chat right now, and he'll agree with me, right? He spent that whole season fucking battling back, tackling back, and all of that sort of thing because he was taking all the responsibility on. That's what stunted his growth.
No.
Because if it wasn't for that season, I think another club would have come in for him, and I think he would have been allowed to have a more artistic license.
No, it's just because we were in this position we were in. It didn't ruin him. It made him stronger.
Once every 10 years we get relegated. Once every 10 years.
Yeah.
We've been in a relegation fight for about 6 years out of 10.
Yeah.
How can you allow these
people go back to where
because they have to fucking cover for the people like Mark Noble because they won't pay to replace him? How can they expect to develop like that? Like, would you, as a player, when you've got the world at your fucking feet, do you really want to be fucking standing in midfield, fucking next to Mark Noble?
How are we supposed to move forward as a club if we keep releasing these?
Well, this is the thing. Well, this is the point I was getting to, right? This is the point I was getting to. Is the fact that West Ham need to show more ambition and get this shit organised. Otherwise, they'll have to let him walk.
Yeah. Listen, I've said this all along. We need to match Rice's ambition, but I don't believe that if Rice sticks with us next season and we're in another relegation battle, it's going to affect him. I think it's making him a better player. Because he's taking the mantle, he's taking the game by the scruff of the neck. He's leading, he's showing his qualities. You know, you can't tell me the 2 games that he's been captain, both times, he probably goes under the radar a little bit because we're so used to putting in a performance. But he is showing leadership, and that will only benefit him going forward. If we stay up, we keep hold of Rice, and we actually go out and put players in the side who will benefit the way we want to play. And we have a bit of structure about it, and have him in the midfield as the skipper, leading the side and showing what his true potential can be, he'll benefit massively more than he would going sitting on the bench or going playing for another side.
And as we said, we've got a good enough, as you said, on paper, we've got a good enough squad. So it's only a few additions that we need. Get rid of a couple of players, bring in some better players that are going to work for the team, young, ambitious players. And then people like Declan Rice. You've noticed the difference with Declan Rice since Souček's been in the team. You know?
Yeah, but this is exactly it. This is exactly what I'm saying. Like, he's been left there to do all the shit work for 3 seasons now. He's been absolutely brilliant.
I can tell you something now, and I can guarantee you this now. By January transfer window, you'll have Bowen linked with bigger moves. Because for me, Bowen, how old's Bowen? 21, whatever he is. So he might be a little bit older, but he'll be the next player. Clubs like West Ham, their players are always going to get linked. We've had it since we've started watching West Ham. You know, you had Cole, Carrick, Defoe, as you said, all them. They always get linked with better teams because the bigger teams, that's why they win things, because they go out and they use these clubs and take their best players. But we're not in that position no more where we have to be, we have to take the money. You know, don't get me wrong. If a stupid offer comes in for Declan Rice, like 80 odd million, of course the club are going to look at it. Of course they're going to look at it. But then if they turn around and say, no, we want to keep Declan Rice, then they're showing a bit of ambition now. If Declan Rice shows a bit of loyalty and ambition, you know, that's how you start to build a team around players like Declan Rice. And if you keep selling these players, you just get. That's why we're in relegation battles all the time.
But this is the thing, though, right? You look at the midfield partner, Souček. Let's be honest, Souček is probably the Noble in the last few seasons has been okay. You know what I mean? But his legs are going and all that. So this season, I think he's age is caught up with him. His legs are going. And you just said to me at the beginning of this program, you know, Declan Rice is brilliant at reading the game. Declan Rice is fantastic at getting that ball in the middle of midfield, winning it, reading the game, taking a ball off someone, and then giving it to someone else. What's missing in his game is getting forward. If he's covering for Noble, yeah, he can't get forward. So his development will be stunted. And then when the next manager buys him, he won't know that he can go forward with the ball, and he'll just make him do that, like Joe Cole. When he was bought by Chelsea, he said, fucking Mourinho, see him doing all the dog work at the back and fucking tackling back and all of that. Didn't really see a lot going forward. And he thought, he's a good player to buy because he'll fucking defend. Because Jose Mourinho didn't know who the fuck he was. Just listen to my point, Scott. Stop shaking your head.
Mourinho didn't sign Joe Cole.
We've seen... Well, hold on. We've seen...
Mourinho didn't sign Joe Cole.
What?
Mourinho didn't sign Joe Cole. It was Ranieri.
Well, no, he didn't.
Yeah. Ranieri was in...
Go on.
No, I was going to say it was Ranieri that signed Joe Cole.
What year did we go down?
2003.
I think Mourinho would just come in. I think Ranieri had just been sacked.
No, Ranieri had a season after that.
All right, so even if it was Ranieri, we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, Mourinho knew he could defend, and he'd been doing all that defending work for West Ham. All I'm saying is we need Rice to be progressing with the ball. He's good at doing that, but he doesn't get a chance to do it so often. That's the next part of his game. Is he going to stick around if Souček fucks off back to Czech and he's been stuck in the middle with Sanchez or Noble again and he can't do that? Or is he going to go somewhere else where he can progress his game? I know what you're saying, Scott. He's not going to be great at sitting on the bench for Man City, Chelsea, whatever. But who's to say for, Man City, they're going to lose Fernandinho very soon. He's 35 years old.
Yeah,
I don't think he'll be sitting on the bench for someone like Man City.
The thing is, Nick, everyone says about Rice to Chelsea, right? City needs centre halves, right? City needs to replace Fernandinho, who's a holding midfielder. Rice fits the bill for both them positions that they need to fill. If he's going to go anywhere, that's where he's going to go. I just feel that him sticking with us for another 2 seasons at least will benefit his game, because as much as you're saying about, he's having to cover for Noble, he's having to do this, he's learning more about the game now than he will going somewhere else, because he's learning the shit side of it. Yeah, so he's having to read the game. He's having to be more of a presence in the side. Then when he goes and got other better players around him, he won't pick that up as much because there's other players there doing the job. At the moment, he's the one doing the job. Now Souček's come into the side. It's benefiting him. Right, and when he does eventually go and he's applied his trade and got more games under his belt playing for us and goes to play with different players, you'll see that next level. You know, I just think him moving in the summer, if we stay up, is too early for him, and I think he'll live to regret it. I
don't think he'll move in the summer. The only reason he'll move in the summer if the owners force him out. But what I'm saying is we shouldn't be looking to offload him in the summer. But what we should be doing is surrounding him with better players to help his development as a player. It might convince him to stay, because if he keeps on getting dragged down into them relegation fights where he has to do this person's work and that person's work, he won't want to stay.
But then he might go to a Chelsea and have to do that work. He might go to a Man City.
They might sign him as a defensive midfielder, and that's his role there. So he can play the same role.
Title leagues and all of that, FA Cups and whatever at Chelsea, than he ever will have at West Ham. What I'm saying is, we need to match the ambition for the team to keep him before. And this is where it all started. Before we start looking to offload the likes of Declan Rice, we should be offloading the people that fucking don't give a shit about the club and surrounding Rice with better players, so it might convince him that we're a fucking better team than we actually are.
And I'm sure we will do that. I'm sure they're already looking to do that. And the thing is, like with Declan Rice, he might go to a Chelsea or a Man City, and they might put him centre back.
Right. Sorry, Nick. Mourinho joined Chelsea June 2004.
All right, well, Ranieri bought him and Mourinho fucking knocked the shit out of him.
Yeah, no, I just checked it. I just got it.
I remember because didn't he sign on the same day as Varane and someone else? Because I can't remember who it was now. But look, forget about obviously Joe Cole. I mean, look, we all want Declan Rice to stay at West Ham. I don't think there's any West Ham fan out there that wants Declan Rice to leave. At the end of the day, it comes down to Declan Rice. And I just think with Declan Rice, and as I said the other week, Scott, remember I said this might come back to bite me on the arse, but I think Declan Rice might show a bit of loyalty to West Ham, because you've got to remember, Chelsea dumped him. They didn't want to know him.
Exactly.
They didn't want him. They see him as that 14-year-old kid that weren't ever going to make it. West Ham took him. We give him his chance in the Premier League. And I just think, even if it's only 1 year or 2 years of loyalty, then Declan Rice can sort of look at his career and think, right, are West Ham going in the right direction? Because it only takes 2 or 3 years to build a good team, and then you start moving up the right side of the table. And ambition for Declan Rice at the moment might be looking at it thinking, it's not a trophy, it's getting West Ham in Europe.
Yeah, and also the thing is as well, while he's still playing for England. Now, if it was a case of playing for us was affecting his England chances, then maybe leaving would be a better thing for his career. But I just think sticking with us for another season, possibly 2, seeing where we go, it ain't going to hurt him. You know, that's how I look at it anyway.
And he's also got to look at who Chelsea are signing, and he's thinking, right, am I guaranteed to play every week? At West Ham, I am. At West Ham, he is. Even if they bring someone in who gives him a bit of competition, Declan Rice is going to be in front of them. And that's a little thing like giving him the armband will make a massive difference. And even say to him, right, here's a new 5-year deal, put him on as one of the highest earners, because I think he deserves it.
Mm-hmm.
When the amount of money we've wasted at West Ham over the years, they should show a bit of loyalty to Declan Rice, and Declan Rice show a bit of loyalty to West Ham. And they say to they say to Declan Rice, look, give it 2 or 3 years, and then we'll address it again.
Let's be honest. The one thing they need to do in the summer, in my opinion, is make sure Rice is the highest earner at the football club. Because there's no way the likes of Anderson and Hilaire and people like that deserve to be on more money than that kid.
No, but you always find it that foreign players always earn more than the sort of English players, don't they? The English players, I think, sometimes get a bit. How can I say it? Like, I don't think they're appreciated enough sometimes by the owners, you know, at football clubs. And then when you go and buy these, like the Sebastian Hallers and the Andersons, you have to pay them the big money to get them over here. You know, Anderson could have worked out and he could be like our Pint You know what I mean? But it hasn't worked out. Sebastian Haller could have banged 25 goals in this season. It hasn't worked out. Do I think Sebastian Haller next season can be that striker? Yes, because I've seen enough in him this season that when he plays with someone up top, he is a threat. So that's another position we definitely need to work on. We need to go out and we need to sign someone who's going to play around him, because I thought that could have been Lanzini, but Lanzini's not the same player. So as Nicky said, he'd probably be look at one of the players that you look to ship out, because Fornals, out of Lanzini and Fornals, I'd probably pick Fornals over Lanzini.
Yeah. I mean, so it's always difficult to come back from an injury as serious as Lanzini had, the same player. So, you know, it's like he's become a bad player overnight. I think it's just the injuries affected him.
Yeah, it's a difficult one, because I think what I think you just mistake for a lot of the time these days is there's no loyalty in football. If West Ham want him out and he wants to stay, they'll fucking drag him out the fucking door. It'd be like
that's the difference. That's the difference. If West Ham want him out, if the club want him to go, he's not going to say no, I want to stay. He's going to say, well, they don't want me. I'm going to have to leave.
I'm sure when you look at the likes, Joe Cole in a way probably didn't want to go. You know, when we got rid of him, Craig Bellamy, another one, but he didn't want to leave and they pushed him out the door. We know it happens. We know
you couldn't see someone like Declan Rice handling a transfer request.
No, I think if he goes, it's more because the club want the money for him than him wanting to leave.
Yeah, and a club like West Ham, we're not in a position to turn down an £80 million bid if it is an £80 million bid. We're not, and we've got to be realistic about that, because Declan Rice, £80 million for Declan Rice could go and get you 3 or 4 top players, and you know you got to look at it like that. As a club like West Ham, a team like Man City could turn it down. You know,
but then look, you sell Rice, and you sell. And well, Noble's. There's rumours this week that Noble's going to retire next year, at the end of next season. Who else is in the football club? All right, Mikel maybe, or Bonner maybe, but who else is in the football club that you really, honestly think gives a fucking shit?
Well, no. The worrying thing is, if you lose Rice and then lose Noble, you've lost 2 leaders. You know, like you've got Soucek, or Bonner, but you've lost 2 leaders on the pitch. You know, that's and we know the hardest thing to replace in football is a leader. You know, and that's the worry. Yeah, I sort of agree with shipping out Lanzini. I can see shipping out Anderson, you know, because it's not really worked out for him. Lanzini, we know, ain't the player that he was. You know, that could work, and that would free up a lot of wage. And I
think when we moved to the Olympic Stadium, we should have kept Tompkins for another season.
I think at the time with the move, and obviously we brought in a few signings that summer, the money we got offered for Tompkins was too much too good to turn down at the time. Looking at it now, I would have liked to have kept Tompkins. I don't like seeing homegrown leave the club, but I think Tompkins was about 11 million, 12 million from Palace. That's a lot of money for a player that probably weren't guaranteed to start. But looking at it now, I would love to have kept Rice. I think we should have kept COYI as well for another season at least. I think we shipped him out too soon.
I don't know with COYI.
With no replacements.
Yeah, no. See, the thing with COYI is we didn't replace him. I think it was the right time for him to move on, because he wasn't the player that he was. You know, that we saw in the first couple of seasons he was at the club. I thought that was the right move, offloading him. And to be honest, he ain't set the world alight at Palace. But it was the fact we never replaced him.
Yeah.
But who did we replace? We still had, when we sold him, we still had Obiang. We sold him, and who did we replace him with?
That's the thing. You look at some of the midfielders we've let go and then not replaced. Roberto Song, you know, quality player. We
ain't replaced Dean Ashton, and he retired in 2012, whatever it was. Fucking there's a lot of work to do in this summer, but the main thing now is that this week we've got 2 massive games: Burnley on Wednesday, Norwich on Saturday. And if we get 4 points this week minimum, we're safe. We're a Premier League team next season.
I'll be honest.
Massive.
So long as we don't collapse against Norwich and Watford, I can't see the teams below us picking up enough points to get above us now. You know, all them Norwich and Villa and Bournemouth now need 2 wins to get above us.
Yeah,
so
tough games as well.
We're going to pick up at least 1 more win between now and the end of the season, and I can't see Villa and Bournemouth picking up 2.
Fucking I hope we do.
Well, no, I'm just saying I can't see them getting 3 wins. So long as we get 1 more win, I think we're safe.
But they've both got to play us.
Yeah, they've both got to play us. I mean, it could come down to that game on Saturday. Is that if we beat Burnley, and I don't know Norwich have got midweek, but if they lose that, we can end up relegating them on Saturday. So they're going to be bang up for that. So, but I find sometimes West Ham play better football and take it to team when Norwich, not because Norwich are going to have to come at us. They're going to have to. Burnley's a tricky one because I watched them yesterday against Sheffield United, and you know sometimes you watch Burnley and you think, oh, they're like really good, decent football team, and like, but then sometimes I watch them and I think, you know, I'm sometimes surprised me that they're not down there, but that's just the way they play football. I mean, I don't watch Burnley week in, week out, but Burnley will be a tough game. But that's the sort of game that if we beat Burnley, say we beat them 2 or 3-0, the amount of confidence that's going to give us going into the Norwich game, and then if we beat Norwich, we're a Premier League team, we're safe, and then it takes a little bit of pressure off the team. Yeah.
So you may see once we're safe. Like I said, when we're playing in the likes of Watford and Villa, you want them still to be scrapping because they're playing kidding. You don't want them to be relaxed that they've been relegated. It's the same as Norwich. You still want to be fighting for something because, like you said, they've then got to come at us. The worrying thing with Burnley is I think Chris Wood is back for the game against us, and you know he's another player who's sort of falling in our side. So we need to be wary with that one.
Is anyone else a bit panicky yesterday when Andy Carroll came on?
Yeah, I mean, I think all the West Ham fans, especially when the commentator kept saying he ain't scored since January when he scored against Birmingham in the FA Cup for West Ham, and I'm thinking, oh, here we go. But do you know what? When I look at Andy Carroll now, I think the way football's moved on in such a short space of time, I don't think he suits the game now. I think he's even getting frustrated with it because you see every time he goes up for an header now, the referee's blowing the whistle straight away. And he's getting so frustrated. I just think his game's sort of gone. It wouldn't surprise me if you see Andy Carroll retire.
Well, I think he's more of a championship player now. I think he'll thrive in the championship, like Hugo. Hugo's not a Premier League player, but Hugo's a champion.
Scored again yesterday, didn't he?
Yeah,
he scored again.
You know, he's a player in the championship. That is his level. Me and Graham were talking about it earlier. Sometimes you have players who are a bit too good for the championship, but not good enough for the Premier League. You know, when you look at Dwight Gale, I know he's got a few goals here and there, but when he was in the championship, he was a brilliant player. You know, now he's in the Premier League, he's struggling. And I think Hugo's that, and I think Carroll now, where he's coming towards the latter stage of his career, championship's a good level for him.
I don't think Andy Carroll's got another move. I think Ryan's right. I don't think Andy Carroll's got another move in him.
No, I feel sorry for him. I feel a bit sorry for him because I liked Andy Carroll when he was at West Ham. I know he had his injuries and all that, but I did like Andy Carroll. And there was some times this season where I thought, I wish we had an Andy Carroll in the team. But, I mean, one thing we didn't mention about Souček's finish yesterday for his goal. When Declan Rice obviously hit the crossbar, it fell to Souček. Great finish. And he's on a bit of form for Souček. 2 goals in 2 games.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
That's Yarmolenko nearly had another rocket, didn't they?
Yeah, Yarmolenko come on. You know, one thing I like about Yarmolenko is that he tries things, little flicks here and there. You know, he's not afraid to try things. And that shot he had yesterday,
that was a rocket, wasn't it?
The goalkeeper, that's in. It's just a shame it was straight down the keeper's throat.
Yeah, and that's the thing. He gives you, at least he shoots. That's the thing. We are very, very guilty of not shooting in game.
Yeah.
He got a phone call. You know, and that's the problem. At least Yarmolenko gets on the ball, tries to get inside and fire a shot away. You know, I think that's the first time. That's probably one of the first times all season without, on a stat, without had more shots as the away team than against the home side.
We had 17 shots.
I love the fact we've got someone who's prepared to have a bang from distance rather than trying to.
We had 17 shots yesterday for an away team. That's a pretty good because you don't see many teams go away and have that much like that many shots. And I think you know, looking at the overall game, I thought we probably deserved to nick it.
Mm-hmm.
But look, a point would have.
Look, we'd have taken that at the start.
We'd have taken point. Respect the point.
Any point away from home in the Premier League is a good point.
That's it, and that's how you got to look at it. You know, it's a decent point. Possibly we should have had all three, but it's a decent point. You know, that's
the only frustrating thing was that we switched off straight after the goal.
No, 4-0 switched off.
Yeah.
4-0.
Sorry, 4-0 switched off.
Why he's not running at? You watch it back, right? Everyone's saying about, we should have been more switched on in the centre and things like that. He strolls out and then puts his arm up as if the player's offside and he's one playing it on. And
you don't expect one of your midfielders to be your deepest line defender.
No, when I expect a midfielder to look across, and he's looking across the line, when he's looking across the line and sees he's the last man, he should be running out of the box. It's laziness.
Yeah. It's lazy, and it was literally a minute, 90 seconds after the goal.
90 seconds, yeah.
Yeah, it's disappointing when things like that happen, because you think to yourself, right, if we'd have just kept hold of that lead for another 2 or 3 minutes, we probably would have seen that game out and we'd have won the game. But it's always disappointing to give away a goal straight after you go 2-1 up. So, but look, as we said, bearing in mind we went into the Chelsea game and the Newcastle game with no recognised striker, and we've come out with 4 points. That's massive. That's massive. There's teams below us that would give anything to have them 4 points. You know, so we've worked hard over the last 2 games, but now we've got to work even harder over the next 2.
It's just amazing what a difference a week makes in the feeling around the team and the club. You know?
It's confidence. You know, one thing, like one little decision can change the whole course and the mood. And that Yarmolenko goal against Chelsea, I think now will kick us on to, because that, as you said, everyone woke up, they was buzzing. I mean, I was still smiling yesterday before the game, thinking of that bad Chelsea result. It's one of them, and you know, you always get one team at the end of the season that sort of goes on a little run, and I'm hoping that it is us. And as I said, it would be great to go sort of unbeaten in these last 5 games, just to give the squad a bit of confidence, and also David Moyes a bit of confidence, because he probably will be our manager next season. But it'll be interesting now to see what happens when he's got his own transfer window to bring in his own signings and get rid of the players that he don't want. Because I think there are players there. It's clear to see there's players there that he don't fancy. So he'll probably get rid of them. And then
who do you think you don't fancy?
It's definitely like players like Jetty, Masuaku.
Yeah, he definitely don't fancy them.
Masuaku. Who else is there?
Anderson.
Yeah, Anderson.
I'll be honest, I don't think he fancies anyone on that bench, barring probably Balbuena,
Yarmolenko,
and Noble.
Probably Jack Wilshere as well, but he's just at the moment he's probably a bit with Jack Wilshere. You've always got that worry in you that he's gonna. But I agree with what Nicky said earlier. I can see Jack Wilshere staying for his to see out his contract next year. And but it's just about, like, if David Moyes is going to be the manager, then you got to give him the backing, you know, in the summer, in the transfer window, just like they back Pellegrini. They probably won't get as much as Pellegrini, but if David Moyes can make 4 or 5 of his own signings with some of the players that he's got there already, who knows? You know, we let's fingers crossed. We all want a better season next year, of course we do. We don't want another season like this, but I don't want to start the season next year where we're down the bottom and then come October, November time, they make the change again. And it just disrupts the whole club. Sometimes it gives you a boost, sometimes it don't.
Yeah. The thing is if you look back at this transfer, if like the last transfer window, if Moyes is responsible for Bowen and Souček coming to the club, then you've got to give him massive credit, and you could sort of put a bit of trust in him bringing in players in the summer.
Bowen was a great signing because he was probably the championship best player in the championship, and sometimes, like you said earlier, Scott, sometimes it's a struggle for players to take that step up. Bowen's like just took to it like a duck to water. You know what I mean? He's relishing the chance to play in the Premier League, and he's probably thinking to himself now that the Euros are next summer. If he carries on his form, Gareth Southgate's the type of manager that he looks at players like Bowen. It don't matter who you play for. You know, Bowen's probably thinking, if I have a good season at West Ham next year, and prove myself, I might be in contention for an England call-up or even making the squad. But, you know, it's a good ambitions for these players to have.
We should definitely be looking for a couple of signings out of the Championship next year.
Oh, yeah, massively. There's a lot of talent in the lower league.
We should be looking... And it's not only for thingy, because we've got talent in the side, but like you've got to have people with the desire. It's all right having all the talent, but like you can see people like Anderson haven't got the desire. They haven't got the desire to succeed in this league. You know, he knows full well that he's been strolling around for Lazio. He knows full well that he's been strolling around for West Ham, and he knows full well that someone else will take him and let him stroll around for big money. You know, people like Jared Bowen, who's got, you know, who's only young. He's only 22. He's got ambitions to play for England, probably. You know, Hull was, you know, in the Championship. We're never gonna, you know, tickle his fancy. So he wants to go on and he wants to achieve big things and all that. There's loads of players like that in the Championship. Brentford have got 3 or 4 that you could easily take out their side and put into your side, and I'd be much more comfortable with them than, you know, some of the foreigners that obviously just come here for the money.
Well, you got to remember as well, mate, is we've been quite lucky with our signings from the Championship. Well, Mikel Antonio was from the Championship, Creswell was from the Championship, Bowen was from the Championship. There is a lot of talent down there, and that is a tough league. And there, you know, as you said, there's a few boys at Brentford. There's a few at Leeds. I mean, Leeds look like they're coming up anyway, so they're going to keep their players. But there are
get promoted yet still.
Yeah, exactly, and. There are a lot of players down there that can take that step up, and I'm sure that David Moyes would already be looking at targets for next season already.
Well, the funny thing is, if you look at the stats this season, the 2 players at the moment that seem to be assisting in our goals are 2 players we took from the Championship, and both we took from Hull, Snodgrass and Bowen. You know, Snodgrass, when we first signed him, you wanted to work out the way Bowen has worked out so far this season. You know, but Snodgrass, he's been, until he got injured, when he involved in the most goals for the side.
I'll tell you what, that's one thing I've been impressed with. One thing I've been impressed with Bowen is his deliveries for corners.
Oh, he's so good. So good.
You know, even the one yesterday from the one we scored with Declan Rice hit the crossbar, he puts them in the right position. And we haven't seen that for a long time. A player that has got confidence in taking set pieces like that. I mean, Snodgrass is good at it as well. But to take away Snodgrass and Bowen, I can't look around that team and think of anyone else who I'd rather have set pieces.
Someone must have read my mind in the comments. I was going to say about him, that Campbell for Norwich. I'll take a punt.
Aaron's is the same. 2 fullbacks.
The boy at QPR, Easy. You know, we've been linked with him quite a lot. Ezzy, whatever his name is. You know, we've been linked with him quite a lot. But then you got to also look at teams that go down, and you know, Aston Villa have got some good players. Bournemouth have got some good players if they go down. You know, so you've got to look at their teams, their players as well. I mean, Ryan Fraser's on a free. You know, I know he's been linked with Tottenham, but that should be a sort of player that we should be looking at as well to maybe bring in, because he's a winger. If you want to get rid of Anderson, get 35, 40 million for Anderson or 30 million, whatever you're going to get. Bring in a Ryan Fraser, and you've got 40 million to spend on someone else around the squad, like another striker.
Yeah. That's it, and that's what, you know, and that's what we need to do. Someone said in they're saying like John McGinn from Villa, Nathan Ake at Bournemouth. You know,
I think Nathan Ake's got will have a big move in him. I think there's a lot of big teams looking for him, looking at him. So that'd be tough to get someone like him. But you look at someone like Callum.
Another young lad at Bournemouth. I can't remember his name.
Harry Redknapp.
Yeah, no, there was I was talking about him, maybe. I can't remember his name. It's gone out. Yeah. Carry on.
This is the thing. That's what you've got to look at, because, you know, we've got to look at players that are hungry for the game, like I said, Championship players, but also players that have had good season for the teams that get relegated. This is all, you know, if we stay up. I'm not
even who's the what's his name at Norwich, the striker Pukki. You know, if Norwich get relegated. You know, I know he had a good start to the season. He hasn't scored many in the second half of the season, but put him in a better team with a striker like Haller. Imagine them 2 up top together. But someone like Norwich,
I just think they'd want like quite a bit of money, and
Norwich are going to be looking at 35, 40 million for him because they don't have to sell him. So, and I think he's 30 years old now. So that's a gamble. You don't want to be spending that sort of money on someone.
They'd
like
be looking
him.
for at least 20, and I haven't seen enough from him this year to even like see that he's a bit like that fucking guy that Swansea had for that one season that fucking hit the ground running, started smacking it left, right, and centre, and then he couldn't hit a butt.
Lorente. No, not Lorente. What was his name?
What was his name? See, that's how good he was. We can't even remember his name. Michu, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. You got to be very careful with signing players sort of that age in their career. You know, if Fulham don't come up, you've got Mitrovic there. You know, would they be able to afford to keep hold of him if they don't get promoted? He'd be worth a punt of player to bring in as a backup striker. You know, but that's the thing. That's what we need. We need to do our homework on the players we're going to bring in. You know, players to fit the structure of what we want going forward.
Anyway, I mean, but before we even start thinking about that, I mean, let's just hope we're a Premier League team to fucking.
Yeah, I mean,
we're making all these assumptions. Like, we get this player, that player. We've got to start ourselves. Yeah,
we've still got a bit of work to do. We've sort of, with the results of the weekend and our results, I think we've sort of got like 1 foot in the Premier League next season. But a good week this week. Results go away. Minimum 4 points this week, and that's it. We'll be a Premier League team next season, and we start as soon as we got confirmation mathematically. Then that's when we start building for next season straight away.
Would you if results go away and it works out, you're looking at it, we're safe. Going into them last couple of games, would you start playing some youngsters?
Of course, yeah. I'd start mixing it up a bit.
Sorry, say again, Nick. Sorry.
I'd start having a look at Johnson.
Yeah.
That's what I would have a look at, but I can't think of any youngsters that we've got flying around at the minute.
Where's Holland?
He's out on loan, isn't he?
He's out on loan, yeah.
Oh, he's at Oxford, isn't he? Because they're in the playoffs, aren't they?
I think they played today, didn't they?
I have to have a look.
Did they have Portsmouth, wasn't it? Did they have Portsmouth?
Portsmouth, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so that's the
Oxford beat Portsmouth on penalties.
But the thing is, they won't, because while we can still move up positions, them positions are worth a lot of money.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, the difference between finishing 17th and 15th is like £20 million.
Mm. Yeah, you're right. You are.
Yeah, we want to finish up as high as we can, because, as I said, the table is so tight, and it only takes, if we was to win our next, say we won our next 3 or 4 in a row, that could put us mid-table. You know, that's the difference. As Nicky said, they look at it as money, and especially where there's no crowds at the moment, they're going to want to get as much earnings as they can. So,
I don't know what the points difference is.
That's the thing.
Realistically, we can finish 15th, and that's at a push, because Palace are on 42. They're 11 points in front of us.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. If we win our next 3 or something like that, or 4 games, that's 12 points. If depending on other results, we could finish sort of like around 14th, 13th if results go away and we win. But it's not going to happen. But as long as we're above that line, mate, I don't care where we finish. I don't care if we finish 1 point above it on the final day of the season. As long as we're a Premier League team next season, and then we start rebuilding.
I just don't want to see us get safe and go on our holidays, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You know, I want to see us to keep competing all the way.
I'd love to see that. I'd love to see us safe, and then like they just come out in a pair of flip flops in their next game.
Nice pair of Avianas.
Anyway,
Declan Rice in midfield, just in a deck chair with a cocktail. All right, lads, go on, play on. We're safe.
Anybody else?
No, I think that's it, mate. I mean, obviously we've got Burnley on Wednesday, haven't we? So we've been back. Graham, I always knew the sun shined out your arse, mate.
Someone said he's Graham in heaven.
Yeah, Graham's gone to heaven. But
I'm on this show. I am in heaven.
We got Burnley, so obviously Scott will have a preview. Hopefully he gets uploaded this time. Go on, Scott. Have you say, mate? We're all friends.
I can't criticise. I could be uploading it myself. So,
Did I say I was going to do that?
No, I think it got missed in the chat.
Okay. Sorry, mate.
He really wants to say something. Look at his
I'll be
face.
honest, I know you've been busy, so it's as I said. I did expect someone else to pick it up, mentioning no name. But,
just call them personally. Just chucking it in the chat, forgetting about it. He's not going to get it done, is it?
I think when it got missed because I said I'd send it, and then we had a bit of a convo of saying else. That's why I think it got missed. But I'll try and knock that up either tonight or tomorrow.
Anyway, we got Burnley coming up.
Tough game. It's going to be a tough game. Well, I'll be honest. I wouldn't start Lanzini and Fornals in the same side.
Do you know what? I think he might start Yarmolenko on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
I think he might start Yarmolenko. I think he might make a couple of changes. Once again, it don't look like Sebastian Haller is going to be fit to play. I don't know what's going on with him at the moment, but I think we should sort of prepare that.
This is a bit convenient, though, isn't it? Like he played the 2 friendlies.
Yep.
Then he was meant to have a very slight injury for the Wolves game, yeah. And then he ain't played since. And then it comes out in the middle of it all that we ain't paid our bill.
Yeah, there's saying definitely more behind it, but hopefully we do see him. It'd be nice. It'd be a nice surprise if we look at the team sheet on Wednesday night and he's on. Even if he's on the bench, that's a boost. But yeah, no, I'd like to see him mix it up a bit. Maybe give Yarmolenko a start. Maybe drop Lanzini or Fornals for him.
I'd have him up front. Honestly, I'd have him up front. I'd have Antonio on the wing where Fornals is, and I'd have Fornals where Lanzini was.
Do you know what? I like that. I like Yarmolenko when he plays out wide, though, because I like it when he cuts in. I think he's more dangerous than someone like Antonio out there. Antonio ball defenders to stick him up there, let him run in. He'll run for you all day long. I like Yarmolenko out on the wing and then Bowen out on the other wing. I think that could work.
It does worry me though the fact that we've not rotated, we've not made substitutions to give players breathers. I know Moyes don't trust the Jetty and Xande Silva and players like that, but Antonio's played a lot of football in a short space of time. Yeah. And the worry if Haller's not fit and not available, and then he's going to flog, he's going to put Antonio up there and make him work as hard as he's been working over the last few games. It's going to affect Antonio. We know sometimes he's not got a great injury record. He's not the worst player we've had injury wise, but we can't keep relying on him to work hard and keep doing that for 90 minutes. I think when you look back at the game, come 70 minutes, you could see he was knackered. He wasn't chasing and things like that. And I just sometimes think that going into that last 10 minutes of game, whether you trust the Jetty or not, just stick him on to give Antonio a break, because you think we play Wednesday, then we're back again Saturday and then again on Wednesday. And you're going to ask Antonio to play 90 minutes Wednesday, 90 minutes Saturday, 90 minutes Wednesday. He's putting his body at risk again.
Scott, he do as he's bloody told.
No, look, listen, you know.
Is it because he's had muscular injury?
Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me if you might see him sort of maybe rest him against, maybe playing more against Burnley for the physical side. But then maybe if we get the 3 points against Burnley, maybe rest him against Norwich and maybe mix it up and maybe put Bowen up top, or Haller might be back for the Norwich game. So I think once Haller's back, I think Antonio will be sort of dropped. But look, if Antonio looks like he's enjoying playing his football at the moment, he's in a good run of form, he might want to play every minute. So
it's like we were saying the other night, when you're winning, you want to play. You want to keep playing. You don't want to stop playing football. But I just it takes a big toll on the quick turnaround of games. It's taking toll on people's bodies, and you can see that. And it just worries me with the lack of subs that Moyes makes. When you look at what other clubs have done, when you look at Newcastle, for example, the team they put out against Bournemouth, they made changes in it. They freshened it up, and that's the problem that we're not doing. And it does worry me. If we go and get a win against Burnley, absolutely brilliant. And if he comes out against Norwich and we rest a couple of players, then fair enough. But we've got to start looking to make some more changes, I think.
I think that's it, mate.
I think you're right.
Finish on this, Scotty.
Thank you very much for joining us on this edition of West Ham Fan TV's post-match part. We'll be back for all the preview and build up to the Burnley game. Don't forget, we've got watch-alongs and all that stuff. If you've been joining us on the watch-alongs, thank you so much. Check out all the content from then. Check out Friday Night Pint, which will be out on Friday. Anything else left to say, anyone?
Us. You see you Wednesday. Hopefully 3 points. Come on, you Iron.
If you ain't a patron already or you're not subscribed to this channel, please consider becoming a patron. The link is in the description down below. If you're not subscribed, just click the subscribe button. Leave this video a like. It helps us greatly. Go and check out the Patreon stuff. We've just put up, I think the post-match pint glasses have gone to £5 for patrons in an end of season. Get a new batch. So if you're a patron, they're now £5. If you get to the end of checkout, they'll be £5.
How much they need?
£5, mate.
£5.
£5. And the t-shirts down below, and if you're a patron, you get a discount off them as well. So please, they're all different products.
Oh look, he's froze now. Look,
thank you so much.
You froze him.
One thing left to say.
Come on,
guys. Go on, Scott.
Wave, Scott.